and do that. And if so, we will craft one and bring it back to the next meeting, for your review again, and then at that point, ask that that be taken to the board for approval, and we will ask for your guidance if you want to make that retroactive for the sewer portion to the first of this year, and then the water portion has to be approved by the Public Service Commission, and that's a technical adjustment to our tariff. That may take some time to implement, but it will be implemented at service continues.
Yeah.
Okay, any other thing? Or can we
No,
wrap this
that's
up?
good.
Okay.
Is that what you'd like staff to do?
That's,
Madam
yeah,
Secretary?
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so tax penalty and collection process, this is the second person who's contacted me saying they weren't aware. But Mark did, I don't pay our property taxes, so I needed to understand, like, when the bill goes out. And I think both these people paid their first one due January 31st, but then when is the second one due? March 31st.
March 31st.
March 31st, and they get a notice when, saying your second payment is due?
You don't get a notice saying it's due.
It's a
There's
stub on the
stub
tax,
on the
right?
bottoms.
So they do not get, so if you lose a stub or something and you happen to forget, you get no notice from the village saying, hey, your property tax
Yeah,
payment
it's
is due.
but it's on the bill.
Yeah, it's on
And
the
it is
bill,
on the
it's in the
bill.
letter.
The original bill that comes
yeah.
December 30, okay, so but,
But they lose that.
Okay.
And it's on the website. It says what the installments are.
Yeah.
and so, okay, so this person, now he said, so, okay, so then what you are okay, so I'm also confused about so the penalty is 1.5% on the entire outstanding balance. I mean, now why was this guy saying I had to pay a $530 penalty on,
Well, I mean, just to use round numbers, tax bill was substantial, in excess of $20,000 for the year. First installment, generally speaking, is 50% of that.
okay, so he pays $10,000 January 31st,
And
all right?
another 10,000 and some is on this two installments, 5,000 apiece for round numbers. When you miss the March 31st
Okay.
payment date,
All right,
and go past the grace period for those payments as well, which gets you into April 5th or 6th or 7th,
Okay.
depending on how the weekends fall. The taxes become delinquent. All outstanding
so the remaining
balances
10,000,
become delinquent.
so 1%
becomes-
is $150.
It be $150
1.5%.
retroactive to the original due date of the taxes, which was January 31st. And that's per state statute.
And that's per month, it's 1.5%?
Per month or portion thereof, yeah.
So they're paying 1.5% on
For three-
10,000
For 3 months.
back to January 31st. Oh, I see, because,
So February, March, and then a portion of April when we ultimately trigger the notices after they've passed the grace period. And then that amount holds, it gives them, by the time notices go out, about 2 weeks to respond to that.
so that's where you
And
get,
then-
that's where you get $450.
And that's where it
Okay.
becomes a big number pretty fast. I mean, even under an average scenario, it's a big number, but in this case, it was a significant number.
Okay, and the 1% is state statute. The
1% is-
0.5% is us.
1% is a mandatory state statute, 5% is by local ordinance, or 0.5% is local ordinance.
Okay, I guess my question is, why can't we send people a notice March 15th saying, don't forget your payments due March 31st?
We could,
Do we, I mean,
I
would
mean,
you
how,
listening?
well,
I mean,
and how
you-
manual of
if you
a
forget your-
process. and
I mean, this-
process is that. No, I mean,
we
that's
can
my,
print a report that talks about all, I'm sure we can print a report that talks about all payments. But your 1,000 letters
If you do all balances.
before the, you know,
We could do a postcard, we don't have to do letters.
well, that's not how the
It has to be generated from the
system
tax
generates.
system. Yeah, it's a letter. Yeah.
the
Well,
letter,
I-
envelope, mailing.
What do you mean, the system generates, I don't know what the
It'll print the
system
letters.
is.
Yeah.
Hmm?
It prints the notices that go out, so we just stuff,
Just
we
say
have
up
the
there.
phone and stuff. Yeah.
So there would be two, is
So
there a
it's
May
letters.
31st payment due to, a third payment you'd have to give notice on?
If we do notice,
If we
we'll
notice the
have to
first
do all
one, we would have to
notices.
notice.
Well,
the
if you wanna
second.
do advance notices as a reminder to pay your coupons, well, from staff taxes, the notice, your tax bill has 3 coupons on it, and you're right, if you lose it or forget about it, you end up getting the delinquent notice, so to be proactive against that and send out fresh notices,
Right,
you have to send them to everybody who's on an installment plan.
Right. but I mean, couldn't you download that list of name and addresses and then just send a postcard? Why do you have to send a letter and stuff that, blah, 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 blah? Is there no
I-
capability to download addresses into an Excel file
And
and
then-
upload them
Well,
into
then you
another
can-
mail file?
I will say this, so the March notice is gonna come right before an election, so our office will not have the staffing to do that. We could possibly print and quick do a PDF into the printer, but we will not have time to maneuver to a postcard. I cannot
What if you
do
did
that.
it, what if you did it in February and then just had them mailed in March?
Well, the only tough part would be
Anybody who
that
pays
pays,
between,
then they get the notice and they're mad because we sent them a notice.
You're not
I-
sure that
yeah.
you got the payment in,
Right,
or
Then that
did it?
generates a whole.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm confused, you know.
It's a tough,
It's easier, if we're gonna do it, it's easier just to mail the letter.
yeah,
That can be done like that.
because it shows them what they already paid. I mean, we just print it to PDF
Yeah, I mean,
and
we're-
send
we're
it, it's just
talking
not gonna crack this.
$600-700 to mail that letter, and postcards would maybe be 400.
400.
But at the timing of that all, it's, and the manpower it takes to make that happen.
And we have
The
to-
system's designed to print out letters,
Yeah.
basically.
And we would have to create the postcards and get those cut and block, that would be a short press thing, we don't have the capability.
The letters could go faster.
Yeah.
Once they're downloaded, we could have them out within a
Did
day.
you put on this invoice, what payments have been received and when, or if they had just mailed stuff and it's crossed, so you have some idea of the time? When you issue this, a lot of people pay late, or close to the deadline.
Right.
Mhm.
So they're gonna get a letter and they're gonna go,
Mhm.
Did you
I
get
mailed that 2 days ago, and then you're gonna get half the people calling to make sure the thing was received, cause now they think it maybe hasn't
Couldn't
been.
you just do if you had a list of names of people who are paying in 3 installments, and just send a postcard saying, you are reminded that you agreed to pay in installments, blah, blah, blah. You don't even have to put, I don't know, I don't think.
Well, it would almost be easier just to do a mass mailing to everybody in the community, quite honestly.
Well, or could we do just one mailing saying, to your point of a reminder that you've signed up for installments, and these are the dates of when your installments due, versus,
Or when you sign up for installments, give us an email. And we will send you an email reminding you that you signed up for installments.
because
I
that
don't
are text.
appreciate how many, I mean, it's an untenable staff task to enter in email addresses one at a time.
You know what, you have a thing where people put their own email in, I mean,
But how does that get into our email system and attach the proper notice for that? You know, I mean, we could create a subscriber list if you wanna be reminded of when the installment's coming up, and people could sign up to the website. That would probably be a doable option.
I just think, there are multiple ways
It's a great idea.
that all of us deal every day with websites, with payments, with PayPal, with Squares, there are multiple ways of providing information, signing up for information, paying things. I mean, I kind of sympathize with these people because they're out of town, this guy was in Europe for several months, whatever, not everyone is super organized with their bills, and, what happens, and like, okay, so you messed up, but then to have to pay a $500 penalty for messing up is pretty severe. And
Sure,
I have a hard time believing that the village can't figure out some way, email, text, whatever, to relatively simply, give people a brief reminder they need to make a payment. I just, I mean, it's, our, sometimes the way we think about things, it's like we're in our parking system and we're in our this system, and, you know, the world, it is 2019, you know, there are ways of using technology that would benefit our residents, so that's how I feel about it.
How many property tax situations, like how many people are on an installment plan? Is it thousands of people, or is it?
I haven't looked up the data,
But probably about
400 or
How many,
500,
we have 35,000 taxpayers?
3,500.
3,500, I mean, yeah. So probably about 500.
So you said they get coupons, when did they get the, is this
The
just
coupon is
on
part of the bill.
the
Part of the
initial
tax
real
bill.
estate bill, there's coupons at the bottom?
Yeah.
No different than any other municipality in the state.
You know, I mean, I don't care that it's no different, but
So,
there's no.
so
need
one
to-
option is what Mark said, is if people will sign up
Yeah.
to notify me. Because then what happens a lot of times when you're entering email addresses or you're reading people's handwriting, you get the wrong email address, and once we take on the responsibility of doing that, then that creates another issue. But I like that idea, that if they sign up, if they need a reminder, sign up on notify me, we can send out,
We can send out a
like that.
Is there,
Can you
and can
pay
you,
your property tax online?
Yes,
Okay, so when you are online to pay your property tax, you can be prompted to go and sign up for a
yeah,
loan.
and it also could
You
be.
don't
You
have
can
that
see
many.
exactly what you owe online, it's fresh all the
Yeah.
time, immediately
the
when you
due
make the
dates are
payment.
on there,
Yeah.
the payment dates.
Most,
And is there
but
a way
most
to
people
include
pay
that
by
text?
check.
Is it what?
Is there a way to include that text on the actual printed bill too? Like, if you know, if you're signing up for an installment plan, go here, you can, add your sign up for email
can put it
We
notification.
could
in
probably put it in the, what do you call it, piece, the tax
Stop.
insert, or if you
We
can
do
get
a
it
cold
on there, I
letter
don't know.
with
Okay.
all that, and then,
Yeah, we can
you know.
do
Well,
that.
I
If people will
wouldn't,
read
I
them.
wouldn't put it in a letter, I would put a separate piece of paper with, with just that information. Because frankly, people don't, read like a long letter, blah, 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 people don't read it. And they're usually the people who forget to pay their second and third installments.
Because it is on the tax insert.
Well, people forget, and it happens.
Exactly.
And I don't, we could send out all these notices and people are still going to forget, or they're gonna see the letter, they're gonna toss it assuming it's miscellaneous correspondence, but we can try.
I just think it's a little, when we don't, for a typical type of bill, if you're late, you get some notification that you're late before you owe $500 on it,
So when they sign up for installment, is there a place they say, I'm doing installments, or?
No, it's just how they pay, so they can tear off one of the stubs and pay either the full amount or the installment amount. We always give them back the bill, or many people make a copy of the bill, but if they pay it here, we give them back the bill. Some people will send it,
Okay,
but the fact that they keep the additional stubs should
Right.
tell them.
cause they gotta
whether
return those with their payment, or.
Most people do, sometimes they don't, they'll
They
put the
don't.
number, we can make it work without the
Okay.
stub too.
So if there's something on this where they make their initial payment, and there's a clear spot, I wish to receive an email reminder on the, so many 10 days before the installment, the two installments,
Mhm.
they just write in their email, or, I guess you have to enter it then.
It would probably.
Or go to
Our
this.
preference would be is
Go
to send
to
it to
this.
the.
Go to
But I'd be
Notify.
clear,
Yeah.
it's like a box,
Yeah.
I want it, and then say, go to here,
Yeah.
and then it's,
But it also has to be clear on the website, because our website is frankly really confusing.
right.
I don't know
Well-
I don't know where Notify Me is. I have no idea where that is, and I go to our website probably every single day.
Again,
So-
we have a tax facts insert that we put with the tax bills that bring attention to certain things, and, we can add that to the list. It's not as extensive as it used to be with the big double-sided micro print, trying to overshare. It's really tax-related items about, holidays and due dates and everything like that, but I think it'd be an easy thing to add, to subscribe for a reminder notice, before your next tax installment is due, go here. I think it would be an easy thing to mail out notices to people who have tax balances in advance of the due date. But you do that in mass, and then unless you literally do it after the first installment's due, you're always gonna have all these crossing transactions, and that is,
I understand
is
that.
a challenge.
I guess I'm just saying is we, giving people the stubs or the coupons. I mean, I graduated college in 1984, and my student loan, they gave me a thing like this with stubs to hand in my student loan. I mean, how many years ago was that? 35 years ago. It was just my 35th college reunion. Okay, so, I mean.
You're
that's-
not that.
Yes, I am. That's a long time ago. So my point is, but at least if we say to people, and it's clear and it's easy to get to on the website, at least we gave people an opportunity to remind themselves. So at least when they come and complain, I could say, well, didn't you see, you had an opportunity to, because right now we're not letting people know at all. The other thing is, we don't need to send out a postcard, but hey, how about the village manager's memo? How about, any other methods that we have of getting information out before March 31st? Like, hey, don't forget your thing is due. Like, put a sign up somewhere.
I think we do put it in manager's memo usually when the installments are due as a reminder, but, I mean, we can put it more on top,
And
we can
that's
have it in the
something-
note from Becky, just FYI as a reminder. One thing we proactively have done in the last year and a half is we actually send the delinquent notices. So
Yeah.
prior to my time, the clerk wouldn't even send the
Just let
delinquent
them
notice, it
run.
would roll all the way to August,
Oh my
hit the
gosh.
county, and can you imagine what that balance looks like? So, I mean, we at least took a proactive standpoint to say, you missed January,
Alright.
where are you?
Mhm.
So that you don't wait till August and you owe $2,000, because that's
So this